I've actually had this on for probably a minute, and I don't have a topic for today, so we are freestyling it. What is up, nerds? Welcome back to another issue of the Daily Planet. It is Monday, September 29th. We are just about to hit October, and it says right now it's 67 outside. I feel like it's actually hotter. Yesterday it got up to like 90, which is crazy for Boston. But it is what it is. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you had some fun, did some cool things, maybe did some housework, I don't know. But either way, it's good to be alive and moving. Because these days, that's all you can hope for. That's all you can hope for. I am absolutely loving Peacemaker this season. I feel like, there's bits of Peacemaker that could have, what are we on now? Episode 6 or so? I feel like we could have been on like episode 4. Sorry, another first voice break of the day. I feel like we could have been on like episode 4 or something already by now. Second voice break. But we're further along. I feel like there's only a couple episodes left on the show. And we gotta keep talking up the show. Lady, what are you doing? That's insane. Anyway, we have to keep big upping the show because that's the only way we're gonna get more shows like this. Keep, talking about it online, resharing stuff, all that jazz. Funny thing, somebody put online that James Gunn became a director so that he could play his own Spotify playlist. And I believe there's an interview out there where James Gunn was talking about the music in his movies and how it's not even like his favorite music. He just knows or has an idea of what would work, what would be popular. And it's not that he hates the songs or anything, but he's like, essentially like if you were truly letting him have free reign of a playlist and he did not have to think about public perception, it would probably be a little bit different. Not everything would be a little bit different. That's what he was saying. Right now, I have a poll up, but I think by the time you're watching this, the poll's still there. But if you can, head over to The Real Nerdbusters on Instagram. And there's a poll up right now. And the poll is something I've been thinking about for a long time. And I've talked to you guys about, how do we do content? How do you brand your content? All that kind of stuff. The poll is, for The Real Nerdbusters, should we stick to just Ghostbuster content? Or should we kind of like branch it off and do a more mix of Ghostbusters and just like horror stuff, spooky stuff? I'm actually going to change the ND filter. Hang on. Okay, we're back. No ND filter. I've been getting lazy with that. I just leave it on. I think it's because on my Canon camera, I leave on the black mist filter. I never take that off. So I think on this one, I've been kind of lazy. Like, I could leave on like the lowest ND. It does a lot of damage. Well, it helps a lot. But in low light, it does a lot of damage, which is not the intention. Anyway, doing a rebrand, The Real Nerdbusters. I guess not a rebrand, but re-strategizing like what we post there. And I want it to be, I think, more of a Halloween horror, light on the horror part, I guess, but like, I guess Halloween-ish feed, page, etc. And the reason being is, one, there's only so much Ghostbuster stuff I can post that isn't being what is with my voice today? There's only so much I can post that is new, right? Because there's not a lot of Ghostbusters content out there. So I do a lot of resharing of like the different fan groups and communities and stuff, which I love doing. But a lot of that exists mainly on like story sharing, not on like the main feed. And I need some more content for the main feed of the Real Nerdbusters. And as I've gotten more and more and more into the Halloween spirit and Halloween stuff, I wasn't sure if that should be on Nerd Affiliated, on that Instagram page, or if it should be on Real Nerdbusters page. And I've been kind of posting a little bit to each one. But I think I want to stick to one, and based on the poll, it's going to be on the Real Nerdbusters. The other thought I was going to say that I kind of like deviated from, I don't know what's going on. I think drinking coffee with some milk in it is not helping. So I would say my truck. The other thought I was trying to get out was yeah, I'm congested. Ghostbusters is kind of its own, like, not per se horror and like traditional sense of horror, but it is a horror franchise. You have ghosts and ghouls and all that stuff, paranormal. So it kind of makes sense to roll that into the larger space of paranormal and horror and stuff. And if you look at the Tobin Spirit Guide, the new one that came out, that one does a good job of including other pop culture horror stuff into the guide, mixing it into Ghostbuster stuff. So I feel like it only makes sense to kind of start doing more of that on the page. But I implore you to go over to Real Nerdbusters, go to the story, and vote. Because what I want to know is, should it be a like 50-50 mix where it's half Ghostbusters and then half other? Or do I have free reign to post whatever I want? Or maybe there's a way I mix, even if it's something not Ghostbuster related, you know, maybe I find ways to mix in Ghostbuster/Nerdbuster stuff. Yeah, maybe that's the move. But I would really like your vote on that, so I appreciate it. And I have to run to the store before work real quick, because I always run out of time. One major bit of news. I didn't know this was a thing until I talked to some friends. I won't say who in case he doesn't want people to know this, but a major bit of news that I'm really excited for, and I want to thank all of you for your support and all that. We got monetized on Facebook. I didn't know that was a thing until last year. No clue. And it's different than YouTube because it's not as simple as hit a certain amount of goals or targets and then you're good. In a way, they kind of have to just like invite you to the party. And we've been invited to the party. So our nerd affiliated Facebook group is now a monetized page, which is insane. So I want to say thank you. If you're not following us on Facebook, please do so. Follow us on Instagram as well. We are back on Reddit. The page was taken down. We have no idea why, but we have a new Reddit page, Nerd Affiliated, the number 1 on Reddit. So make sure you give us a follow there. And this lady's being weird. Just being weird. You know, people get really weirded out when you're sitting in your car and just kind of talking, and you look at them and they're like, I don't know what to do. There are 1 million parking spots here. 1 million. And 2 people are parked on either side of me. And in front of me, there's nobody. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 spots in front of me empty. It is what it is. But I need to go inside. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for all you guys do for us here on the page. And talk to you maybe tomorrow. Peace.